thoughts on it. I don't have all the answers though, truthfully. I think for me, two things I would say is there are great scripts that won't make good movies. And there are scripts that are okay, but they have brilliant ideas in them. And I think for me over the course, and you probably remember this from Dimension, Nick, you know, and I came up in the genre world, so I was always looking for the big idea as opposed to the great character story necessarily. All those genre movies do need to have great characters, but I think for me, the gems that I found and what I look for are, it's either the writing is amazing, and even if it's not a movie, that can be applied to another idea, and you can work with the writer to find that idea, or the script is okay, but it's got a great high concept or a great idea that you know, okay, this is a role for a movie star, and this is a great idea that can be marketed, not to be so commercial about it, but that is important. And this, if developed further, can be something like a Die Hard or a Nonstop or a Safe House. Or so I think for me, those are the kind of the two things that I look for.
In all of our jobs and probably many other jobs, but I think especially writing, you read a lot of bad scripts and people say, I could do better than that. All the great writers and directors I've worked with look at Fincher, Nolan, Kubrick, Cuarón and say, I can do better than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't aim for the better than the bottom or in the middle, aim really high. I think a little tiny bit of, humility coupled with arrogance is actually very powerful because we all are imposters. My first production company was called Imposter. We all walk around with chips on our shoulders feeling like we don't, at some level don't deserve to be here or aren't good enough. But the harder we work and the more we care and the more we put in our 10,000 hours, the more we do feel like we have something specific to offer creatively. And the Damien Chazelles of the world and the Mangolds, they don't look at the worst film at Sundance and say, oh, maybe I could throw my hat in, They look at the greatest movies ever made and say, yeah, maybe I'll never top Casablanca, but you know what? I'm gonna fucking try. Right. And every movie I've ever made, the best ones and the worst ones, the ones that are absolutely panned and forgotten, I approach them from the same exact angle, which is I'm going to make the greatest horror movie ever made. I'm going to make the greatest period, historical drama ever made. I'm going to create the greatest music biopic of all time. I'm not trying to get to whatever mediocre one did okay business. I think a little bit of that. You're never going to hit a perfect 10 dive if you're aiming for a 7. So equally, as a writer, find your own voice. I do think when I read a script, half of it is just feeling the confidence of the writing, and the process, the experience of writing is manipulation in itself. Do you know what I mean? So you might think I have all the story beats and all the character beats right where they're supposed to be. Why aren't people responding? Like, you got to take me on a journey. You have to hold my hand and make me end on page 115 before I realize I even started reading it. Do you know what I mean? Like by page 10, I'm dying to put it down and go check my email, make a call, be with my kid. You got to make me, it's got to be impossible. So part of that is authentic. You have to find your tone and your style of writing, and it should feel really crisp, really confident, not overwritten. We can smell greenness, you know what I mean? And I think this is where you just have to write a lot of bad things before it gets a little bit better and then really good. The more reps you put in, the more and again, I wrote for a few years and I hated it. It was like I hate nothing more than the blank page. I admire all of you so much because I think a director can respond to something and is making decisions, and it's an enormously challenging job. Also not, a lot of people think they can do it when they can't, but at some level it's pretty easy to direct badly because all you have to do is say yes or no to a million things and the movie gets made, Writing is pure creativity in a way that almost nothing else is, and that is to get up every day and go do that is really admirable. And when I work with phenomenal writers who love being alone at their computer and write too much, I just have such reverence for that capacity to thrive in that environment. But what is both the prose and the dialogue, how does it feel immediately distinct and as efficient as possible? Economy is important. I have some white on that page. If I see long, dense paragraphs, what it tells me is you're giving me more information than I need. You're in love with your own writing, and I'm already bored. I'm dying. And it's probably, I know you cheated the margins because you wanted to write so much that it's probably a little, so I'm dying to get, whereas there are some amazing writers that are coming up. You know, I worked with a writer named Mike Mikowski on I Think We're Alone Now and Bad Education. Bad Education was with Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney. And in both of those were the two easiest movies I've ever gotten made because the scripts were so good. And the voice of the writer. And by the way, in both cases, we dramatically changed the scripts when we made the movies because there were some narrative elements and character elements that needed shaping. But even that, he managed to preserve his voice as we were doing these big, long, new monologues. Like, it was always really cohesive. But the scripts were just these unbelievable sales tools. You know, a Sorkin script is going to be something special. And I've read first drafts that aren't ready to be movies, but there's still something magic in his writing. I'm working with Eric Singer. He's a brilliant writer. You know, the great writers don't write one great script. It's a job. It's a craft. They get up every day. They are disciplined. They do the work. And a couple other process notes that I think are really valuable to producers. Like, don't hand us a script you know can be better. Don't ever tell me, I know there's a lot of work that this script still needs, but I thought I'd give it to you. Like, that's a waste of my time and your time. And it's going to be really painful when I just confirm to you that it's not remotely ready. Also, and the same goes for a filmmaker handing in their first cut. Don't hand it to me and already in the email say it's perfect, because it isn't. I promise you. And even when I then work with you for 6 months and we both think it's perfect, I will know it's not perfect when we send it to others. And you have to, as you said, Nick, balance. It's very emotional. I've been on that side. And you hand it, you work so hard, you feel really great, you cracked it all, whether it's a cut or a script, and you just want people to tell you how great it is. And it hurts when they say they don't have the reaction you were hoping for. But get it to the place where you feel really, really proud of it, where it matches the expectations that you've set with your filmmaker, your producers, your team, and try to make it stand out without being so loud that you're reaching in an artificial way, like where you can see, like, again, as far the great writers I've worked with, the only thing I've ever known is they write and write and write. And they've, you know, that guy Mike Mikowski I was telling you about, he wrote an entire season of 24 fan fiction at 13 years old, and he never looked back. Like, the guy just, Damien Chazelle, the director, he does not have much of a life outside of watching movies. He's just like, he's watched every single movie. Every director I know, like, they just watch endless movies and write constantly, and a voice takes shape. But that is always going to, coupled with a good idea, to your point, Alex, the best of the best will really come to the top.
Watch the full Stage 32 webcast to get the insider intel you need to stay ahead as a writer, producer, or director in 2026. And for those ready to truly level up, join the Stage 32 Writers Room. This is your direct line to A-list executives and a global community of elite filmmakers. Don't just watch the industry change, lead it. Tap the links below to get started.